She was just a medic, until the Navy SEAL commander handed her his Barrett .50 cal in combat. The dust storm rolled across the valley like a living creature, swallowing sound, light, and courage. Inside the half-collapsed aid station, Corporal Hannah Ray wiped the blood from her gloves, her hands steady even as artillery thumped somewhere beyond the dunes. She'd been patching up Rangers and SEALs for days, surviving on adrenaline and grit. To everyone else, she was just the medic. Quiet, small, forgettable. Except today, the battlefield didn't care about anyone's job title. A sudden boom ripped through the station, an explosion close enough to send a rain of sand and splinters across the room. Shouts went up, a radio squawked with panic. Sniper, 50 cal, he's pinning down the convoy, no movement. Hannah froze. A .50 cal enemy sniper meant one thing, death from impossible distance. Commander Briggs, the SEAL team leader, stormed inside, his face streaked with sweat and fury. He scanned the room, his own sniper was down, throat torn open minutes earlier. The team was blind, grounded, and the enemy had them dialed in. "We need counter-fire now," Briggs growled. Someone with eyes, someone steady. No one moved, no one volunteered, no one even looked up. Hannah felt her pulse slow, not rise. A strange clarity settled over her. She stood. "I can do it." Heads snapped toward her. A medic, with a Barrett. In this chaos, Briggs nearly barked a laugh, but then he saw her face, calm, unshaken, not bluffing. "You ever fired a 50? He demanded. "Not in a while," she said softly. "But I know distances, I know wind, and I don't miss when it matters." Briggs hesitated for half a breath, then slung the massive Barrett M107 from his shoulder and placed it in her hands. The weapon looked impossibly big against her frame, but her grip was perfect. Outside, bullets cracked, enemy rounds searching for targets. Hannah crouched low, crawling out through the shattered wall. Sand blasted her face, but her focus tunneled. She slid behind a burned-out Humvee, flipped the bipod open, and settled the rifle. She inhaled. The world shrank to her eye, the scope, the shimmer of heat downrange. A glint, barely a sparkle, on a rock outcrop nearly 2 miles away. There. Wind from the left, quarter value. Distance drop, mirage shift. She calculated faster than she could breathe. Briggs crouched beside her. "If you're wrong, I'm not," she squeezed. The Barrett roared like thunder, kicking dust into a violent cloud. Even with earplugs, the blast rattled bone. Seconds passed. Then, silence. No more shots from the enemy. No more echoes. Briggs stared at her, stunned. "Corporal, what the hell are you?" Hannah Ray simply exhaled and reloaded. "Just a medic," she said. But everyone now knew the truth. Smoke drifted across the valley as the last echo of Hannah's shot faded. For a moment, no one breathed. Then the radio crackled alive. "Enemy sniper down. Convoy clear. Move, move, move." The entire front line shifted like a giant exhaling. Troops who'd been pinned for almost an hour surged forward with renewed purpose. Hannah, still behind the charred Humvee, lowered the Barrett slowly. Her arms trembled, not from fear, but from the sheer weight of what she'd just done. Briggs placed a hand on her shoulder. "You just saved 70 people, he said, voice quieter now. Hell of a shot, but Hannah wasn't listening. Her medic instincts had already kicked back in. She scanned for casualties, for movement, for any sign of who needed her next. That's when the incoming whistle split the air. Mortar. Close. Too close. Down. Briggs roared. The explosion hit 20 meters away, enough to flip a parked ATV like a toy and send a shockwave rolling through the sand. Shrapnel ripped overhead. Hannah covered her head, teeth clenched, as the earth shook beneath her. The moment the dust settled, she crawled to the nearest wounded ranger, a young private screaming and clutching his leg. Blood pulsed between his fingers. "I got you," she said, voice steady as stone. She applied a tourniquet, packed the wound, sealed it in seconds. Briggs watched her work with a growing realization. This woman wasn't just precise with a rifle, she was surgical in everything she did. More mortars thundered down. The enemy had adjusted fire, zeroing in on the aid station itself. "We're getting overrun," a SEAL reported over comms. "They're pushing from the ridge." Briggs gritted his teeth. "We fall back now, we lose the wounded." Hannah snapped her head up. "No, we hold. Give me 2 gunners in the .50. I'll slow them." Briggs blinked. With that Barrett, she shook her head and pointed toward the old defensive nest near the station. "With the M2 Browning." "The big girl." Briggs stared. then smiled like he'd just met someone dangerous in the best possible way. Minutes later, Hannah mounted the Browning on its swivel, sand whipping her face. 2 SEALs fed the ammo belt while she sighted downrange. The enemy fighters emerged from the ridge, sprinting toward the station, rifles raised. Hannah squeezed the butterfly triggers. The Browning thundered, deep, rhythmic, unstoppable. A wall of lead tore across the ridge. Enemy soldiers scattered, ducked, fell back. Hannah tracked them with terrifying calm, firing in controlled bursts like she'd been manning heavy weapons her entire life. Briggs shouted from behind cover, "Medic, huh?" Hannah didn't look back. "Told you, I'm versatile." The ridge fell silent. The assault broke. SEALs and Rangers regrouped, moving the wounded to safety. Briggs approached her again, eyes narrowed with respect. "Corporal Ray, who trained you?" She locked the Browning, stepped down, and brushed dust from her uniform. "No one," she said. "Life did." But Briggs knew, there was history behind those eyes. And he intended to find out exactly what kind. As much, much more.